Oh, I saw 2 people there.
Oh, I know, but y'all.
Yeah, I've been in Texas for 10 years, so that kind of
Awesome.
inhabited quickly.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, my sister moved there a bunch of years ago, and she got a bunch of y'all. She got a little twang. Do you have twang too? Will we hear some of that?
I don't think so.
Huh. Nice to
I'm from
meet
the
you.
Midwest. It's kind of nice to meet you. Yeah.
Can't believe it.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm meeting you. I can't believe I'm going to meet you in person. I can't believe you're going to the games.
Yeah, in like 2 weeks.
Do you normally get what you want in life, Abigail?
Nowadays, yeah, I say so.
Like that was that was an acquired skill?
Yeah. Yeah.
To get what you want?
You get that as you go. You learn how to do that.
Tell me, what's is there some secrets you can reveal, or is it
just knowing and believing in yourself. I mean, it sounds corny, but it's true.
You said in I was actually just looking at Barbell Spin, Brian Spin's Instagram account. He's got a post and it says basically that you're a single-minded person. And I take that as meaning that you're focused. And I guess
Yeah.
at the center, that's discipline and structure, and you put that in place and you get what you want.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm going to do something, I'm like all in on it. I'm totally just, it's all television until I get there. So
We have some sort,
and then I do it.
We have a crazy connection. We have our connections all jacked up.
Yeah, it's kind of.
And your camera keeps going like this. Is your phone on a trampoline? I can't tell.
There we go. Is that better?
Maybe,
I'll just not touch the table.
Or maybe it's fine, but maybe it's your AirPods too. Is there a delay?
Here, let me like out and put them back in.
You're awesome. Thank you.
Well, let me try.
Oh, okay. And it's our connection.
Okay.
It's our connection. It's not your AirPods. It's our connection. Because when you took them out, it's still all jacked up. Are you far from the router? Is she on her phone? Is that why we lost her? Someone called? Someone texted?
I can go upstairs. I'm on an iPad. I can go upstairs. No.
That would be cool. Could you do that? Awesome. Wonderful. Let's do it. Let's party. Upstairs.
Okay.
Close to the router. Thank you. The connections, there's just a crazy delay. There's a crazy delay. Who in here said it? Barbell Spin, yes. Abigail, Abigail Donut. We will not call her Abigail Donut now that we know her. Now she's Abigail Domit. Is Domit? Is that how you pronounce it?
Domit.
Domit. Oh, so I was
Domit.
close.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, I mean it's donut with an M.
Yeah, Domit. Oh, I've been calling you Abigail Donut.
This should be better.
Oh, this is much better.
Not better?
Yeah, sweet. How old are you?
Okay. 25 until Wednesday. I'll be 26.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh, this delays. It's gonna be good. It's my karma, so I'll stop interrupting people. Hey, tell me where were you born, Abigail?
I was born in Michigan. I lived in the Midwest until I was before I turned 16, and then I've been in Texas ever since.
Your whole family picked up and cruised out to Texas?
No, I was born in Michigan. I lived in Missouri for 10 years. We went to Illinois for a couple years, then came to Texas. My dad was living here, just spend more time with him, and yeah.
So you were living with your mom, and you moved out of your mom's house and moved in with your dad in Texas?
No, still kept living with my mom. but we moved in with my dad. They like got back together, sort of.
Are they still together?
They're like partners for life.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
And you've had a boyfriend forever too. Oh man, we're not gonna be able to do this. Hey,
in December 2021.
And you've been with him forever though.
Yeah, we met in like August 2016. So it's been a while.
Because he's all over you. Because he goes back in your Instagram pretty far. You said 2016?
What was that?
Oh, fuck me. This isn't going to work, is it?
Yeah, this is tough.
Hey, have you, where else, where have you done podcasts before? Where in your house have you done podcasts before?
I've sat here, I've sat at the table downstairs, and it's always worked.
No shit.
Do I have to have Wi-Fi? Can I turn off Wi-Fi?
Yeah, try. Yeah, maybe try turning off the Wi-Fi. Let's see what happens.
I mean, it's on an iPad. I don't know if it would work.
Does it have cell service, that iPad?
1 second.
Okay. Have her leave and come back. You want to try logging out and coming back in? Reset the router. Direct connection. Listen, settle down, fucking tech support. No, look at this Wolverine. Ethernet cable. Who has an Ethernet cable? She's 25. She doesn't even know what an Ethernet cable is. She's all wireless.
I know. Is that better?
We'll take two. Okay, so you moved around a shitload.
A little bit.
So you moved. Is this on cellular now?
I just turned off the Wi-Fi and turned it back on.
Oh.
We'll see.
Okay. Hey, how did you get your how did you meet the Wolverine people? How do you get a sponsor? Your first year and you already have a sponsor.
So I met them. So I've been with them for almost a year and a half. Not quite, but it was after the fittest experience in 2022. So I don't know. I mean, that was my first year going pro, and at that competition, like there was a pro division, and I met them, and I guess they saw that I was getting better quickly, and they were interested in me, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And yeah, I love them. We've been doing it ever since.
And and I saw you did a podcast with the CEO, the founder of the company, Alex.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy that they chose you. They only have 2 individual athletes at the games, right?
I think, yeah, they have Alex and Colton, and then I mean Chelsea's in Masters, and they have a few. I think Alex and Colton might be the only like individuals.
Who's Alex? Oh, hey. Alex Kazan's also Wolverine. Oh, I'd already forgotten. Hey, we got to reschedule this. We can't do this to poor Abigail. How can we do this better? If I don't do this podcast with you right now, are you gone forever? Will we not get you again?
It's just hard for the next couple weeks. Right now is perfect, but I don't know. I mean, also the Wi-Fi at my house has been kind of shitty lately, so I don't know if it's that.
Where is your router?
It's right here behind the couch.
It is. Can you climb behind the couch?
Hey. I'm just going to unplug it. That's what we usually do, is unplug it and plug it back in.
So it's kind of crazy that look at who they have. What a trippy cast of characters. I gravitated to the same people that Wolverine did. You, Gazan, and Colton. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, you guys are kind of on the same wavelength here.
Yeah, that's really weird. Have you met Alex?
We competed against each other at semifinals. But I mean, I think everybody was kind of in their own, like, do what you got to do. At least I know I was like, let's get through this weekend. So.
How about Colton? Have you met Colton?
Nope.
And so you go to semifinals, and do you believe when you go to semifinals, do you actually think you're going to go to the games this year?
Yes, absolutely. This year, yes. Last year, I was a little bit more intimidated, wasn't sure. But this year, from start to finish, I was very confident.
And what year did you find CrossFit?
I started in 2020, like in the spring.
And you were a model, so you were a stick, right?
Yeah, I've gained like almost 30 pounds since I started.
In 4 years.
In 3 years
there's even
and some change.
You said in that podcast
that was a few months in
of CrossFit.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, because I saw some
a few months in.
Yeah, and you told Alex from Wolverine, you said in that podcast that basically in the first month you just put on 10 pounds, like your body just settled into where it really wanted to be.
Yeah, like I feel like the first like 10 pounds were very natural. Like it was just like eating intuitively. And then after that, then I was actually like trying to like, okay, I'm gonna add in more calories here and there, and then just started gaining weight pretty quickly.
Yeah. You're like a new person with 30 pounds on you.
I know. Yeah, I mean, everything was different. I got rid of all my clothes, and yeah.
What is your how about your fiance? He meets you and you go through this dramatic change. Well, dramatic physical change. I'm guessing also that there's a mental change that went through it too. What's his perspective? How does he see your change?
Well, my husband, he's the one who signed me up for CrossFit in the first place. And like, I mean, he was definitely the first person who really believed in me and was like, hey, like you can do this. Like we were watching a documentary and we're watching, like Captain David's daughter do these events and win and all this. And we're just like, oh, wow. Okay. Like, he's like, I could see you doing that. And then, yeah, he signed me up, and I was totally against it at first though. I did not want to go. He started a few months before me, and we would go together in the car, and I would just like take the car and go like thrift shopping, or I would sit in the car and read. And then eventually he's like, hey, actually I signed you up. It's a 3-month deal. Like do what you want with it. And I was like, oh, well, of course now I have to go because I don't want to waste this. And then before we know it, kind of took over my life. But
yeah, that's crazy. Why were you opposed to it at first? You just didn't interest you, or was there something about it that you found kind of a turnoff?
I mean, I didn't care at first. I saw it as like just like the class thing. I just didn't care to go participate in a class of people working out. Because I've always worked out. I was like, oh, I'll just go run at home. I'll just do some push-ups at home or whatever I need to do to stay fit and stay healthy. And as much as I hate to admit it, I also was against the whole like, oh, I don't want to get bulky type thing, which totally went over my head after the first few months. Because then I'm like, yeah, like I want to get strong. I want to do this for real.
How hard did you go in the beginning? Because there's this line, right? That's like a girl might say, hey, or even a guy might say, hey, I don't want to get bulky. And the comeback line is like, hey, don't worry about it. You don't have the fucking work ethic to get bulky. Don't worry about it, you pussy. But you,
Right.
you literally you're kind of an outlier. I mean, that 185 snatch complex you're doing, that's ridiculous that you've only been doing CrossFit for the little bit amount of time you are, and that you're already moving that much weight and that perfectly. And then you also, how much mass you put on. I mean, you're genetically not like the rest of us, right? There's something about you. Like you got a weird dad or mom. One of your parents is like weird.
They're both pretty weird. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, because I feel like I was able to kind of gain, like, if I don't work out for many months and then I randomly just start doing a bunch of like push-ups every day, my arms will just like become shredded like super easily. And you know, same like with my core or whatever, like I'll just lean out quickly or I'll gain some sort of muscle quickly. So because I feel like I was never, even whenever I was like skinny, I wasn't like skinny. I was more kind of slim fit, I'd say. And that was actually something that was not really an issue, but it changed kind of some of the jobs that I would or wouldn't get when I was modeling, because they were like, oh, like you're a little bigger. You're more of a fit girl, or you're a sporty girl. But I was actually
dude, you
trying to be thin.
You were trying to be thin.
I was trying to be, yeah.
Me too. I'm still trying to be thin. But and then you did that modeling shoot where you couldn't get the boots over your calves.
Yeah.
You couldn't zip the boots up over your calves,
and
you were skinny.
Yeah, definitely.
But
especially when I look
genetically
at myself now, like,
yeah. But genetically, still there were parts of you that just, no matter how much you just ate lettuce and drank tea, they weren't going away.
Yeah, because I was never like soft. Like how some people are like skinny and they're like soft, where you can kind of grab them and squeeze them down. But then there's people who are thin, but they're still kind of like hard. They're not, you can't really compress them.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that.
So hugging you is like hugging like a stack of 2x4s.
Yes. Something
hey,
off. Can you
what ethnicity? Yeah, you're great. Oh, better. What ethnicity are you?
I mean, I'm white. I actually just took a DNA test recently, though, to find out like what parts of Europe we're from, and I think I'm like mostly French, but like right on the French and German border, but then also on the coast of France. And then, I mean, there's some Irish thrown in there. There's some.
You're not Icelandic.
No.
No, interesting.
A little bit of Finnish, but that.
Oh, okay. And you weren't you weren't homecoming queen.
No. No.
But you were barefoot.
I was barefoot.
You're just weird. You were barefoot for a couple years.
For a couple years, yeah.
Yeah,
I had a total whole layer of extra feet. But
I had that too. Could you put a cigarette out on the bottom of your foot?
Yeah.
Did you used to do that? Did you smoke American Spirits, and then when you were done, you'd put the cigarette out on your heel?
Yeah, absolutely. And the skin.
You're not joking. Are you joking?
Only a little bit. Only a little.
Yeah. So you were dirt twirler, because I literally didn't wear shoes for 2 years also. And that sole that I built on the bottom of my foot, I could put cigarettes out on it. I even stepped on a thumbtack one time, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I pulled a thumbtack out of the bottom of my foot.
Yeah. Tree branch, twigs.
Yeah.
I mean, places you did have, like, whenever I would go to work, I had to wear shoes. But yeah, everywhere else, grocery stores, gas stations, school, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes I'd pull out like little chunks of glass out of there that I didn't like. I would look at the bottom of my foot and there'd be like a little piece of glass in there. I mean, regularly, like once or twice a month, just from stuck in the sole. Yeah, crazy. Wow. I never met anyone else who had one of those.
Yeah.
She is 100% going to be Sevan's new favorite athlete. I mean, we're off to a good start, except for the connection. This is pretty good. The Wi-Fi connection. And did your boyfriend know you when you were a dirt twirler?
Yeah, that was like around the time we met. I feel like I went through many phases throughout our relationship, and now I'm grown into this completely different person. But I mean, I know I'm going to go through another phase in the next 4 or 5 years anyways.
But you're still, oh, is that you? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Good find, Caleb. Holy shit.
I was in Arizona one time.
Wow, VW bus with a couple God Bless America stickers. That seems out of place. I like it. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, was that your bus?
No, I was on a vacation. We were like doing like Sedona and the Grand Canyon trip.
And through that phase, that the dirt twirler phase, putting cigarettes out on the bottom of your feet. And was it American Spirits that you used to smoke?
No, it was like whatever menthol.
Oh.
I don't know, Camel.
Did you ever roll your own?
No, I wasn't very good at that.
You've kept through that a piece of you that you're still a simple person. You want a simple life, right? I got that vibe from you too. You're not looking to complicate your shit.
No, I mean, I just live for fulfillment, you know, just fun times and see what I can do and do it.
Tell me about why you stopped wearing shoes. Do you remember the actual day when you were like, "Yep, I'm not wearing them anymore"?
Man, I just thought so differently back then. I don't know. I mean, it was just very. I was just very angsty and just like mad at the world, and it was just kind of my way of rebellion, I guess. So.
Where's that?
Oh, that's in Chichen Itza in Mexico.
Barefoot to Mexico.
That was actually with my husband when we first met.
Did you meet there?
No, we met at the restaurant that I worked at.
Oh, tell you were a waitress?
Yes.
And was he a patron or was he also a waiter?
No, he came in and just started talking to me. But I ended up giving him like my Instagram handle and just told him to message me or whatever. And we ended up setting up a date, but I didn't want to date anyone. So we decided to do a 3-way date, but with me, my best friend, and him. And so that way there was like no pressure or whatever, no commitment. So the 3 of us went and we hung out all night, and I ended up meeting his brother that day, and we just became really good friends for a while. And then we started dating, and now we're married.
And you were 17 years old.
I had just turned 19.
Oh, just turned 19. My math is poor. And how long were you friends? But by friends, you mean he didn't smooch you for a while? Your lips didn't touch for a while?
No. I mean, we would just hang out like for several months, really. And then we just I mean, I think it was really also like it got to a point where I just kind of didn't know what to do. Like I was kind of living with my parents, and like he was a little bit older, and I just thought, I was like, okay, is this weird? And then I don't know. Eventually he came over and met my parents, and then I was like, okay, well, I guess we're just going to date now. So.
Just like that? Just casual like that?
I guess.
And when did you fall in love with him?
I think on that trip that we took. We
to Chichen Itza.
Huh?
When you went to Chichen Itza, you fell in love.
Yeah, when we were in Tulum, we were looking at the stars.
Did you guys drive there?
No, we flew.
Just the two of you?
Yes.
Oh shit. All right. And then you went there, and that was a special trip. That was the beginning of the beginning.
That's like when we really consider like our official start.
And then this guy must really know you well. He signed you up for CrossFit. That's a hell of a thing to sign someone up for. And
yep.
And so you get at it. And how many classes do you take before you're like, all right, this dude actually, what's his name?
Anton.
When Anton's like, you're like, Anton actually has put me on a good path.
I mean, I really just kind of liked it from the start. Like, I don't know. I started and I was like, all right, this is okay. You know, I could do it again, and we'll go again. And then I don't know, it kind of just happened quickly. Like I didn't take it super seriously at the start. Obviously, I still kind of was interested in, you know, going out and doing my own thing and whatever. But I don't know. It just slowly, I just became a little bit more dedicated and started adding more goals and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I in the beginning, I wanted to compete. Like we did our first competition not too long after beginning.
No, like, what do you mean not too long? Like months?
Like a few months, yeah.
See, that's crazy. Look at, you're not even like, I mean, how long ago is that? That's 3 years ago. July, I mean, you completely transformed. I mean, you already look strong there, but you look strong like how like a 16-year-old girl or 17-year-old girl might look strong.
Right.
Like your legs still look like a little frail and shit. Like if someone kicked you, they could break.
Yeah. I mean, even today, sometimes my coach tells me my legs look like that, but.
Oh, good coach. So you know, right? And had you ever? And you'd been a gymnast for 9 years.
No, I did gymnastics for about 3.5 years.
Oh, sorry, level 9 gymnast.
I went to level 9, and then that was when I had stopped.
And that took 3 years. So you accelerated very quickly in gymnastics, also. Excelled.
That's actually cheerleading. That because I did cheer all throughout high school.
And how was that? You loved gymnastics and you wanted to go to the Olympics?
Yeah, but I was too old. I started, and like a year after I had been doing it, I was talking to my coaches, and he's like, man, like, you know, you're 12 years old. You need to already be going to nationals and winning, you know. He's like, let's talk about a college scholarship. But. And
then you were out. At that point, you were out.
I mean, I kept going for a little bit longer because I did it before and then right before I went to high school, we moved to Illinois, and then that was kind of the final draw because the closest gym I think was like over an hour away, and I was just already feeling burnt out. Like I had so many growth spurts from previous injuries. Like I just had a totally different body that I was working with at that point. So.
You broke your back twice?
Yes, I broke it the first time when I was 13. And then I broke the same bones again when I was 17.
How did you break your back at 13?
So the first time was at gymnastics. I was on the high bar about to dismount. I was doing giants, and then I was about to do just like a double back. And so when I let go, I didn't go at an angle. I kind of went straight up, and I went 1, 2, and then my shins cracked down on the bar, and then I came down on my neck, and my body just kind of, and then I laid on the floor.
Did anyone see that?
Yeah, my coach was like, he was like, hey, he's like, did you shave your leg today? And I was just like, no, what are you talking? Like, I was like in a state of shock. Like I thought I was paralyzed. And he was like, oh, well, you just did. And I looked down and it was just like blood and the skin was gone off my shins. And so I thought that my neck was broken and that my shins were broken. I didn't even think about my back at the time.
He thought he was being funny saying that to you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how they were.
Yeah, that's what I picture too. I picture a scorpion. I picture you scorpions. Do you know what a scorpion is? Like you, yeah.
Yeah. I wish that there was a video of it, but at the same time,
Me too.
But
and so tell me what happens. So you're just fucking crumpled mess on the mat, and do you have to actually get up yourself and
I don't remember. I think someone might have picked me up. I don't even know what happened. I mean, at some point we went to the hospital or the doctor or the hospital, someone, and then we did x-rays. And then that's when we found out. They were like, okay, your neck is actually okay. But the 3 bones in your lumbar did break. And then your shins were just, there's just nerve damage. So there's just parts of my shins that I just will never feel again. And then the bones kind of just chipped a bit. But
did you get put in a wheelchair?
No, they just wrapped him up really good.
How about your back?
I got one of those like molded like turtle shell braces that you just wear everywhere and sleep in and all that. And
oh shit, I would be scared to death if I was your parents. And then you re-broke that same that same spot in your back at 17?
Yes, but that time it was stress fracture. So it was just from overtime. Like I felt like the first time we let it heal pretty good, but maybe I wasn't doing enough to really strengthen that core area. And so in cheer, there's just a lot of tumbling on the hard surface. And so it just was a weak spot and kind of did the same thing.
So at 17, you're in excruciating pain. You go in for an MRI and they're like, hey, your back's broken, dude.
They're like, yeah, or they asked if I had previous injuries to this. And then I told them, and then they're like, okay, yeah, it's fractured again. But
any of that stuff haunt you while you're doing CrossFit?
No, I mean, I feel like everything's just so different now. Like my nutrition is different, and like the way like just the musculature in my body, it's just so much stronger in those areas. I just feel like it would be so hard for that to happen now. I mean, I did start having like disc issues in the beginning of CrossFit because I would catch cleans like in a deep in the hole where your back kind of hinges. And I was just lifting with really bad form. And so I started having issues. But it just wasn't related. It was the discs coming out. But now I'm like,
do people think that you advanced quickly, like the people around you who know you, your coaches, your gym members, your husband?
Yeah. Yeah, they do. But that's the thing. Like whenever I was like, not starting, but like, let's say I'm like a year in or I'm 2 years in, and people would talk about certain competitions, like maybe they're like a smaller competition, a little bit more local or something. And they'd be like, oh yeah, you should do this one next year. But in my mind, I'm like, no, I'm going to the games next year. I'm not going to do that little competition, but I'm not going to say that to them. But that's just how I'm thinking. I'm like, but it's just very matter of fact. I'm like, no, like this is the trajectory that I'm on and this is how it's going to go.
I wonder what made you think that you could go to the games. I mean, it really is a monumental task. Do you know that, or do you not know that?
Yeah, totally. I don't know. I mean, definitely in the beginning, it seemed very far-fetched because I would see someone, and let's say I'd see a girl snatch like 155, and I'd be like, wow, like that looks so hard. How am I ever going to do that? But then once you kind of learn a thing or two about technique and, you just put in more time, then you can actually see the results and you're like, oh, I actually am getting stronger and I can do a Fran unbroken, or I it's just things that used to be super, super hard are now like, you can actually do that. and it's crazy to see.
Do you remember the first time in CrossFit that you went to, sort of the pain cave where you're like, oh shit, like shit was getting weird, like you might throw up? Was that your first time experiencing that, or did you experience that in gymnastics too?
I don't think no, I feel like I just had experienced that before. I also did a lot of like long distance running. And so I would kind of get that feeling sometimes if I'm running or if I was at track practice or something like that. Also, I remember my brother, he's 4 years older than me. And whenever he did track for several years, and he would always talk about how he's like, oh, well, if I didn't throw up at practice, then I didn't do it right. And that was something that kind of stuck with me. And I was like, I wonder what that would feel like. And then I went on and experienced that. And I was like, okay, I guess that's how it feels.
In what event did you experience it in? Like a 400 or an 800 or?
No, I'm thinking more like at CrossFit that I would actually experience that.
You've thrown up doing CrossFit?
So if it's like before a competition, like before the first event, it's pretty like on the clock that I'm gonna throw up before.
Oh God, I hope I get that on film. Fuck, I hope I get that on film.
But like at practice, yeah, like I'll start. It's usually like on the rower that I'll start really yakking it out. But
so you didn't go to, this is your first year at the games, right?
Yes.
And you've only been doing CrossFit for 4 years.
3 and a couple months.
Okay. So we're let's say you're in Madison and you've done competitions, you know how it works. You'll be in the warm-up area and then they kind of move you to the corral, and then from the corral you go out onto the floor.
Yes.
So where should I be posted up if I want to catch you? If when you're walking from the warm-up area to the corral, will you just start like, I mean, I've seen some weird shit there. I remember Fraser throwing up. I also remember people like Scott Panchik are funny as shit in there, and same with Josh Bridges. They start like a stand-up routine. But what you're saying is you'll start like heaving. Is it nerves coming up? Just your
I think it's,
do you start vibrating? Are you shaking?
I don't know. Something just hits me. Like what happened at semifinals was like we corralled, and then they're like, okay, you guys have 2 minutes, go to the bathroom, do what you need. And I walked into the bathroom, and there was just like that, like where a bathroom's very warm and it has that kind of that musk that just like set me off. And I was like, oh, like it's whatever I just drank is coming back out. But
God, I like it. Yeah. Thank you. Vindicate. Sevan writes, follow Abigail till she pukes. Yep. That's good. Hey, when you started modeling, were you instantly comfortable around cameras?
Yeah. I mean, because it's not a person. Like at the time, I think I was more comfortable in front of a camera than I would have been around people. And I'm like, oh, it's an object. So.
Where in Michigan were you born?
Battle Creek.
Is that Podunk?
Podunk?
Is that small? Like tiny? Yeah.
It's small. I mean, yeah, it's like the cereal bowl of America. That's where Kellogg's was founded.
Oh, okay. So you have stoplights and shit. Oh yeah, you got a building. So. Yeah, you got a building. How about where you live now? What city do you live in now?
San Antonio.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's kind of like almost a big town. God, real estate is so cheap in San Antonio.
Yeah.
You think that's home for you? You think that's home for you now?
Seems like it. I mean, I'm open to whatever, but yeah, it's kind of been home for a bit.
What about your husband? Is he open to cruising, or is he situated, rooted in there pretty good?
He's open to it. Whatever makes sense.
You still have a little bit of vagabond in you? Little.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I'll get an itch, but it's just like I'm just so focused on like what I have to do that it's like that was one of the things that was really hard, I feel like, when I first started CrossFit, was the fact that you have to stay put, you have to be in your routine and like, have access to food and access to a bed that's comfortable and just like stuff like that. But then once I got into it, now I'm like, it's definitely just encapsulated who I am. But I know there can be some times in the off season where you can just kind of go and wherever you end up.
Fuck, man. You're Anton is lucky. You are the dream. Yeah, I got one of those too. My wife's like that too. She don't need shoes. Yeah. She don't need food. She don't need a place to really sleep. I like it how you're like, this CrossFit shit's weird. You need food and like kind of like a place where comfortable place to sleep. This shit's weird. God. You'll probably and are you barefoot probably a shitload these days too again, right? Like
yeah, it's good just for my recovery. It cools me off. It feels good to just like feel the ground and like, stretch them out.
Yeah. Cool. You got any tie-dye stuff?
Not anymore.
Yeah, it's gone. I don't have any.
It's all workout clothes.
So you go to the gym, he signs you up, and are these moves all foreign to you? The clean, the snatch, the deadlift, this kipping pull-up thing, these muscle ups, are you just like, what is going on here?
Yeah. I mean, I would get disgusted by whenever people would say the word snatch, because I would just think of one of those hooks, like the big hook that like in the scary movies would hook them.
Oh,
and like
yeah.
So that's just immediately what I would think of. And then like the butterfly stuff, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it was all new, but it was cool. I was like, yeah, if it's something to try, then it's like, okay, I'm down.
But you had to learn those terms. Like when they were like a clean, you had to be like, okay, what was that again? Okay, a squat clean. Okay, what's that? Okay, a hang clean. You had to you didn't completely foreign, right? New language or no?
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't hard to pick up on.
All right. For me, it was. No reason to rub it in my face. And then how about this muscle up thing? How long before you got a muscle up?
So a bar muscle up I could do right away, but I was doing it wrong. My feet would go way above the bar, which I found out that was actually not okay. That wouldn't count as a good rep. But at first, that's how I would always do them because nobody was really telling me anything. And then a ring muscle up, I think it was like November or December that I got one. I don't know. It just clicked. But it was the same thing. My feet would fly way over the rings, and then eventually I had to fix that and make it more of a like a power muscle up instead of a glide one.
And you would see the boys doing fooling around with the rings in the gymnastics studio. No.
Oh, wait. Oh, at gymnastics.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so the gyms that I went to, it was always all female. One time for a very short period, there were some boys, and I just remember they would do like the parallel bars, but I don't even know how they practiced because I swear there wasn't rings there. Like I don't know what they were doing, but
and the snatch, how long did it take you before you were able to do let's say a 95-pound snatch?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, so like when we did our first competition, there was like a qualifier before it, or I think it was like a separator event, and one of the events was 3 minutes to do 3 snatches and 3 clean and jerks, the heaviest weight you can do. They don't have to be touch and go, you can drop. And I did those at 115, but they were like horrendous form muscle snatch. So the first time I did like a 95 bar, I don't know, I think I just picked it up and just like pressed it up and just called it a snatch.
No shit. Okay, so you came there strong. People must have been tripping.
I mean, because I could like strict pull-ups and stuff like that. That's just been something I've done all my life.
Right.
So it's not like it was like, oh, I can't do an air squat or I can't do a push-up. Like, it was never like that.
And then what about 135? When was the first time? Do you remember the first time you did a 135 snatch?
The first time I'm not actually. Yeah, I think I did that competition in Austin, the fittest experience. That was in January, and we had to do a squat snatch, 2 overhead squats. That was the complex, and I PR'd at 140, but I don't know if I had done 135 before that. I'm not sure. Maybe, but yeah, I remember 140 was before.
And then did you ever, this most recent video you have of you doing this snatch complex at 185, was there a time in your life that, did you ever look at that and think, oh, I'll never be able to do that? Or were you like, hey, that's my goal, that's coming?
Yeah. I mean, that was me with like the 155, 165 range. I was like, man, how can I ever do this? But then there was a point where I ended up got hooked up with this weightlifting coach who was helping me remotely. And so he really taught me a lot about angles and, you know, using your hips for power and stuff like that. Because at the time, the most I had snatched was 165, and then within like literally, I think it was like a month and a half, I hit 195. So it was like a 30-pound jump, and then pretty soon after that, I hit 200.
And that's your max snatch, 200 pounds?
205.
205. When I was we did a show with the boys on Friday, a podcast, the CrossFit update show, and I showed them this clip of you doing the 185 complex, and I'm fucking dumbfounded and impressed. Where they went with it is like, hey, how can she do this with 185 but in semifinals only snatch 195?
Oh yeah, that just wasn't a.
Is that like, fuck off, boys, you don't know what you're talking about? Or is it like, yeah, you're right, I can do even more?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I would love to do that event again just to get more redemption. But it's like, I mean, I don't know. Because at semifinals, I did feel good. And like, everything was like fine. But I just feel so much fitter now and much more powerful. But yeah, I mean, that event at semifinals, that just wasn't a max out event. I don't think anybody really hit their max at that. Maybe some people did, but it was just so different. Like, you know, changing the weights, and then you had to run and do this and do that. And it just wasn't really a max out type situation. Yeah, I would have loved to hit over 200, but I just wasn't snatching good before that. So we had to play it safe just to make sure that we got numbers down.
So I suspected this early on in the conversation. Now I'm like hearing it in aces. A lot of athletes who are going to the games are like pushing up against their glass ceiling. You seem like you have no fucking clue where your glass ceiling is. You feel like you're not being pushed up. You sound like you're not being pushed up against anything. Did I just hear you basically say you're fitter and in better shape now than you were at semifinals already?
Oh, definitely. Like,
how can that be? Like, I mean, there's got athletes who are probably just trying to fucking maintain, and you're still in this growth.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about training age. You know, I mean, my training age is 3 right now, so there's just a lot of room for growth, and that's something that my coach tells me, because he's very like, the body can always do more than the mind, and it's like whenever your body is constantly getting better, it's hard for your mind to keep up when you're doing these workouts. So it's hard. You get confused, and you don't know that you can actually push it so much harder because your mind thinks that you're still back here when you've already progressed. But yeah, I'm definitely fitter than at semifinals.
So I wonder if this is why are you deriving so much fun and enjoyment because of your growth? I mean, it must be just like every day it almost sounds like you're a new person.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's cool. It's just weird. I mean, this training lately has been it's super tough. It's super hard, but then once you get through it, it's like, wow, like some of this training literally has made me feel like a new person. Just getting through it. I'm like, I feel like I could, throw whatever at me now. But that's just what I say to my coach, I mean, obviously at the games, I'm gonna just like, I'm there to learn and just take everything in and experience it because, if I go and fall on my face, that's totally okay. If I don't, that's also okay. But
some people maybe, once a year, once every 5 years, they'll push into the unknown, and it's almost like you sound like you're pushing into the unknown regularly.
Yeah, I mean, a lot
new
of
terrain
it is yourself.
And say that again. Sorry, I interrupted you. Say it again. A lot of it's what?
Like a lot of it's just learning yourself. And knowing what to do with your body.
Yeah. Are you becoming addicted to it?
I mean, I've always been addicted to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But maybe was that missing in your life when you were modeling?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, that was just such a different. That was a very different time in my life. I don't know. I feel like nowadays I just try to be like super thankful because I feel like I have such a blessed life right now, and it's like I don't want to take anything for granted because everything is just awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. What about going to the games is a huge undertaking. Will your parents go to the games? Watch you at the games?
They are, yeah.
What about all the? It's become all it's all in consuming, right? That's what you are. You're Are you full-time training? Do you have a job?
No, I'm full-time training now.
And what does your husband say about that? What's Antons say about that? That it's kind of like you've just taken on this whole new like career and life and path.
Oh, he's totally supportive of it. Yeah, he's like, go for it, do it. Don't hold back. Like if you're gonna do it, then do it. So yeah, I mean, he's super excited for me.
Does he ever get jealous of your passion? Like it's too much time for that, and he wants some of your time?
Not. I don't think so. I mean, maybe like sometimes it can be hard if like family is visiting or there's events coming up that involve traveling or something like that, and I have to say no and be like, okay, I need to stay home for this. Like maybe sometimes stuff like that, but at the same time, he understands. It's just that there's like a time for everything versus like once we get into the off season, and now that I've done 1 games under my belt, then we can be like, okay, let's regroup and actually be like, how, like if it's like around the open, it's still okay to go and do something outside of, like if I need to go travel to do something real quick, because I don't have to put as much energy into certain things earlier on in the season because I just have more confidence built.
Let me give you some examples. So like he's cool, like if he's like, hey, there's a wedding out of town next weekend, let's go, and you're like, sorry, gotta train. Or you go somewhere and he's like, hey, let's get some champagne, and you're like, nope, sorry, I'm in training. Like he just accepts all those things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he can have fun no matter what. Like he doesn't need me to like, like he'll do his thing. So
yeah, so he knows how to be the mate to someone who soars high.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you're lucky. Good job.
Yeah, I made a good choice. For sure.
Yeah, good job. That's awesome. Does he ever is he ever kind of blown away by you though? Like where like he's like, holy shit, like I didn't know. Like you've been with someone for 10 years and then all of a sudden they're like, I can fly. I can fly. And you go, what? I can fly.
And he's I mean, that's the thing. I mean, he believed in me before I believed in myself when it comes to this stuff, you know? So,
dude, that's so awesome having someone who believes in you.
Yeah.
That's like the goal in life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't hear people talk about that. That's like the ultimate. You need people who believe in you. You want a mom and dad that believe in you. You want siblings that believe in you. You want a mate that believes in you. That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, there's too much pressure on me. Everyone believes in me. Fuck off. How about the people who no one believes in? I'll take that pressure and run with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
What's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen next year? You think that you made it to the games and you think that it's going to be different the next year? I'm assuming you'll keep training and you'll want to go again. You think that added, you'll be as cool as a cucumber as you are now. There'll be some added pressure.
I don't know. I want to keep excelling. So, I mean, we'll see what happens this year. And then, I mean, I kind of know what I want next year. I mean, we're excited because there's so many things that we know we need to work on, but it's just we can't work on them right now because we're about to go compete in a couple weeks. But as far as pressure, I don't know. I mean, I've always kind of liked pressure, but I don't want to say that because if there is ever a point where it feels like too much, then I don't want to, you know.
The coach, how did you, has your coach ever had a games athlete before? Who is your coach? I don't know who your coach is. Who's your coach?
So his name is Matt Bryant. He owns Golden Line. So I'm his first individual games athlete that he's coached solely. He's like, he's had mentors where he was like the assistant coach where they've sent games athletes and such, but like him by himself, I'm his first individual, but he has sent several masters athletes as well.
And this guy is a coach is he a coach at the gym that Anton signed you up to do CrossFit in?
No. So he's been here with me to train for the games, and then he was with me to train for semifinals. But before that, it was remote. So him and his wife kind of hop around right now. But
him and his wife what? Sleep around?
They hop around a little bit. Like they'll go spend a few months somewhere, and then they'll go be somewhere else. So they're very nomadic.
Oh, so they speak your language.
A bit.
And how did you find him? Who recommended him?
One of my good friends, George. He actually kind of, I don't even know. He connected us and was like, "Oh yeah, this guy's coming in town. He coaches this guy Traven Benton, who lives in Austin, who is a friend of mine, who's also been doing really well in a short amount of time."
There it is. There it is. You said it. He's trained someone else who's doing really well in a short amount of time.
Yeah. And yeah, we met. I went and did the camp, and we're like, yeah, let's do it. So I told him, I was like, I'm gonna go to the games this season, so you can coach me. And yeah.
How long ago was this?
This was in November.
What? Tell me. Oh, Matt. Hi, Matt. How are you? Good. Your camp was wonderful. Mm-hmm. Thank you. And I was thinking maybe you could be my coach. Okay. Well, I know it's November, and in 2 or 3 months is the Open, and I'm going to be going to the games. Are you able to? Do you want to be part of this or what? And he, sure. fucking crazy bitch thinks she's going to the games. Yeah, sure. Did I say that out loud? No.
Yeah.
Like that?
I mean, he was totally on board with it. He was like, yeah, I know. Let's do it.
He did? Like, really? Dude, that's bad shit. You know it's fucking... Does any part of you know it's a little weird to say you're going to the games? I mean, it's not realistic.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely... I mean, that's the thing, because I would definitely get some looks from people, or they would be like, okay, like, she thinks she's doing this.
Right.
But then as it got closer, and then they're like, oh, she's actually doing pretty well. I'm like, okay, yeah, And then right before, they're like, okay, yeah, I think she can do it. But it was definitely during that time period beforehand where people were like, are you serious? Like, no way. But in my mind, I'm like, man, these people, like, they don't believe me.
No, it's not. The odds are just so against it.
Yeah.
It's so fucking hard.
Yeah. But I don't know. It just made sense.
Yeah, okay. Fine. All right. Sabbath Essentials, $1.99 for my Uber ride from Chicago to Madison. Thank you. I appreciate that. Congratulations on the kissing you do with the blonde girl with the flowers in her hair.
Yeah.
That's cool. Kissing girls is fun. Abby, what's your that's great. Thank you, Rambler. What's your resting heart rate on your Apple Watch?
I don't know. I don't even know how to check that. This is like one of the really old ones. I just use it for a timer.
Like that, holy shit, you don't know. That's amazing. Dude, she doesn't even know. Do you know where your shoes are right now? Do you know where your shoes are right now? I'm just curious.
Yeah, my closet's over there, and I mean, I have shoes everywhere right now. But.
All right. You have an Apple Watch, so that watch is totally overkill for you.
Well, I mean, I'll use it for like the time, and that's it. Usually, when I'm working out, I'll take it off. Lately, we've been working out at this gym that doesn't have a lot of chalk, so I actually have to wear the sweatbands, and so I'm not going to wear that. Or grips. Yeah, I just take it off. It's too much. It's too bulky for me. But I do like to know the time.
How are you going to be? Let's say there's a chance you're kind of new to CrossFit, but before you were around, there was this. Before you were around, there was the games, and at the games there was this series called the Behind the Scenes, and this little Armenian guy would travel around with his camera, and he would talk to the athletes like while they were back there. Now there's rumors that this little Armenian guy, a little bit older now, a little grayer, is going to might be back at the games this year with his camera and be back there like filming people and talking to people. It's pretty intense, right? He's just everywhere. How do you think you would cope with that in that environment?
That's fine. So for me, if people are talking to me about the thing that's actually happening, that's totally fine. What bothers me is if I'm like trying to get in the right headspace, and then people who like don't even know what CrossFit is are like asking me about like their daily whatever.
This man is extremely sensitive and a great empath from what I hear. Very sensitive to and very in tune with the environment.
Yeah, I mean, I figured everybody there kind of knows what's going on, but
I wonder if you'll be friends. I wonder if you'll like the boys kind of click up together. The girls not as much. I wonder if you'll end up getting cliquey with any of the girls there, like become friends with them. Have like a comrade there, like you and Alex will start becoming friends there.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, be friends with everyone. I actually get really friendly. I feel like at competition, I don't talk. I'm not like a big talker, but when I'm at a competition, I start getting a little nervous. I start like being like way over the top friendly to the point where it's kind of weird. But I can't help it. Like I'm just.
You're a good talker. You're a good talker, though. You're a good talker. You talk good.
Okay.
even with the fucked up connection.
Yeah.
Luis Lemos. Look at, someone gave me $50 because I'm talking to you.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
Oh. Yeah.
Do you have a YouTube station?
Nope. We've talked about it, and it just seems, I don't know. I'm good with just having Instagram as my social thing, and then YouTube, I don't want to get too, I like to have my own kind of private life, you know. But
when for a brand like Wolverine to jump on the band, like, so for someone like Wolverine, by the Luis Lemos, thank you, by the way, that's exceedingly generous, and you always are so generous. Thank you. I hope to meet you someday. For a brand to jump, well, tell me about, before I say this, tell me about the courtship with Wolverine. So they jump into your DMs and they're like, I'm just wondering, how does someone know? So you talk good and you look good, right? You're a good looking human being. So I get that, but that like doesn't mean shit. Yeah. But that doesn't mean shit in the CrossFit space. Like, you got to get to the fucking games. So tell me a little bit about, I don't understand why Wolverine jumped on your bandwagon so early. Tell me about the courtship process.
I don't know. I mean, I had just done like that competition, and I ended up doing pretty well. I tied for second, and then they reached out. They hopped in my DMs and were just like, hey, you know, nice to meet you, yada yada. You know, I'd like to. I mean, at first we were kind of just talking, and then they're like, yeah, maybe we could get on a call and talk about working together. And then of course I got all excited and was like, yeah, for sure, like, let's talk. And then I told them, they're like, what are your goals, what are you doing this for? And I told them what I'm all about, and they were just like, okay, cool. And then yeah, I mean, I was just talking to Alex the whole time, and we just jived really well, and I thought she was cool, and yeah.
So do you have an agent?
I do now. Yeah, I signed with Lab like right after semifinals.
Signed with who?
Lab Management. So I'm mostly like, huh?
Go ahead.
Like I mostly talk with Cooper Marsh and Daniel Robbins, but also.
I know Cooper he works with Josh. That's how I first heard his name, Josh Bridges. You probably don't know him. He's a grandfather compared to you.
Yeah.
And then Daniel Brandon. I'm trying to think if there was someone else. And why did you sign with them?
There was a couple agencies that reached out, but I just liked the friendliness. It just seemed like we were having kind of just like a genuine conversation, whereas there was another agency, they were more like, hey, okay, let's hop on email, let's look at a contract, and just boom, 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 boom. And it just kind of reminded me of like past agencies I'd worked with, like in modeling and stuff like that. I was like, it's kind of more whatever. But also the other agency seemed to work a lot more with the European athletes. And I saw Lab was with like all the athletes in the States. So I was like, okay, I already kind of like them. So let's do it.
And how long has that been?
That was right after semifinals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So basically they saw you were going to the games, and it's like, this is promising. Yeah. And that's when I would kind of expect Wolverine to jump on, but for some reason they jumped on before.
Oh yeah.
They knew something.
Yeah, they've been playing their cards right.
Are you sponsored by a coffee company?
No.
Are you sponsored by a oh shit, where am I are you sponsored by a Toastmaster company?
I got their product recently, and I think there might be a meeting soon. So.
What do you think about their product? Oh, you probably shouldn't say until they give you money. Don't say it. Don't say you like it. I fucked up and already said I love it, and they could give two shits about me now. I fucking love these things.
Yeah, I mean, it's feet stuff. I like it.
You like feet stuff?
I like I like the, you know.
They're like when you get them, it says in the box only wear for 5 minutes. I'm like, fuck you. I'm wearing these for 3 hours.
Yeah. No. Like if I could sleep in them, but if I didn't move around and kick them off, then I would.
Right. Looking forward to seeing what Abigail Domit can do at the games and the behind the scenes footage. She's so chill. Thanks for having her on, Sevi and company. Oh, that's you, Caleb. She was thanking you.
Wow. Amazing.
Yolana Jennings.
Thanks, Yolana.
All right. Another $5. Isn't that crazy? I'm making all sorts of money off you today.
Yeah.
Wolverine, we believe in her. Simple as that. Oh, come on. What are you talking about? We believe in her. Simple as that. You like get to sell the. She got to. Oh, geez, please. Part of the interview process. All right, fine. What do I know? I don't. Does the toe spacer work? I'm telling you, when I take. I'll wait. Next time we have you on, if they're your sponsor, we'll do a love-in or a hate-in on them. We'll see how that works. I use small mandarin oranges between your toes. No shit.
Wow. That's how small? Like maybe grapes.
Grapes, yeah.
Yeah.
So they would squish. So your coach says, you tell your coach, I'm going to the games. He says, okay. And you start prepping for the games and the games training. And that, after you did the open, were you happy with your results there?
After the open, yeah. I mean, I was kind of blown away because I just wasn't expecting the way the workouts to be. I thought it was just going to be kind of super simple CrossFit, whatever. I was like, okay, if I crack the top 100, that'd be super cool, but I'm not going to stress about it because it doesn't matter or whatever. And
then, but you knew you'd go to quarterfinals.
Yeah.
And then from quarterfinals, you made it to semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, kumquats. I have a kumquat tree. Yeah, those are probably better. Those are like little orange. You know what those are? Those little tiny orange. They're like little oranges.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that was the first time you got to see yourself. That's the most theoretically pressure that you've been put in the CrossFit space, right? Now it's like do or die. You knew your season was either going to come to an end or you were going to fulfill this dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how did Abigail Domit manage that pressure of semifinals?
I mean, it was great. Yeah, there was definitely like a turning point in the weekend because I feel like starting out, it was like, okay, this is okay. Like I know I can do it. I know I can keep getting more points, but there was just a few events where like things just, they didn't go perfectly, and that's fine. But there came a point where I was like, okay, we need to decide, like, if we're gonna go, we need to like start getting more points in and getting some higher scores. So
you had that talk with yourself. You're like, shit, I'm not doing it. I'm not performing.
Like I never thought like, oh, it's not gonna happen. I mean, maybe like the tiniest thought, but it was just like, okay. I mean, we still have 4 more events. Like that's tons of time to move. So yeah, I mean, there was some pressure, but it was good. It was good pressure.
Sorry, that's me. I'm making noise over here. I want Caleb, could you pull up the CrossFit Games leaderboard? Sorry. Oh, there's no, this is good. Oh, emotional. You're crying.
Oh yeah, I'm so emotional.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. And what's Anton say to you? Is he somewhere back there, like close, like ready to grab you?
Yeah, he was probably like 20 feet away from me.
And is he crying too?
I'm not sure. I think he might have teared up a little bit, like where he still had the straight face, but like the eyes might have had like a little glisten in them.
Yeah.
But pumped. He was proud.
God damn, he must have been proud. Yeah, for sure. Do your mom and dad know what to expect at the games? Like, it's going to be intense for them.
Yeah, so my dad actually has been kind of following along for a while. Like there was a point where he was like following the games more than I was. Like whenever Rogue Invitational was happening, he was like watching it all when he was like traveling for work or whatever, and he's like messaging me about it. It's like, oh, you're watching Rogue right now? And I'm like, what? You're watching that? And he would send me stuff from CrossFit, and so he pays attention a lot. He's probably my number one fan. But I mean, they're both just like, I mean, I don't know. It'll be intense for sure. I already know my mom's gonna cry and all that. So.
Yeah, it's super intense. What about what hotel are you staying at? Are you staying nearby? Well, are you staying nearby the venue? You got a good spot?
Yeah, I don't remember which hotel it is.
Do they hook you up with it? Do they hold a room for you and they're like, "Hey, stay here, it's close," and then you do it through CrossFit?
So everything was kind of getting, originally we wanted an Airbnb just to have like the full kitchen and everything. But then everything was booked right away. So, well, we did find a hotel that did have a little kitchen in it. So we need to use that because we're going to be there for like 9 days or whatever. And so we got everything booked. And then eventually like, I mean, my agency was just like, oh yeah, like, we can hold a room for you and all this, but we already had everything booked. And so we're like, we'll just keep what we have. And we got a rental car anyways. So.
I wonder how long before you're just like, Coop, I'm going to need 2 rooms this year at the games.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, hey, we can hold a room for you and you can pay for it. It's like, I'm going to need 2 rooms at the games.
Yeah, for sure.
Alex, yeah, I know you sent the packages of the Wolverine supplements. I want them opened and set on my kitchenette over at the Four Seasons. Yeah. Only Evian. The glass bottles. I don't drink that BPA shit. Thank you. God, it's going to be so fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, you're stoked.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on. I'm pumped to meet you. You're cool as shit. Yeah, you're fun. You're cool.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and you have a great support team. Out of your 2 parents, who's the buff one? Out of your mom and dad?
I mean, they're both really strong. I mean, my dad's in great shape.
Is he all muscular and shit though? Does he like have traps?
No, he's just kind of naturally lean. He cycles a lot.
Does he have a big butt, or his jeans big and can you kind of see his butt in his jeans? He cycled his butt off. He rode his bike out.
He's got big calves.
Big calves. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
But I feel like my mom's like very mentally strong, and so.
Your coach's pass, Anton gets it.
So my coach is gonna get it. I mean, we're gonna figure something out.
How to get it? You need Anton down there.
Yeah.
That's what. Okay. All right. Yeah, you need to know. You have to know somebody. Cooper knows somebody.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. So.
Okay. Awesome. If by chance our paths ever cross, it'll be an honor to meet you and stick a camera in your face.
For sure.
Awesome. All right. Have a great evening, and yeah, you're a rock star. I'm excited to know you and to see you progress. You're amazing, Miss Abigail Domit.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good night.
Oh, see you later. Good night.
Supermodel. If you cycle your butt off, you're not doing it right. The glutes are a major mover and propel pedal stroke. Oh. Well, thank you. Did you watch the fights last night, Caleb? God, Caleb, your internet is ass right now. Holly Holm has It's amazing how fighters just don't have big asses. I mean, she could have a big ass, but you can just tell she doesn't train it, right? I guess they don't want to carry that extra weight.
Or need that dump truck.
Yeah, they don't need the dumper. What was that a brand that I coined the term yesterday? Dump truck hotties.
Dump truck hotties.
Dump truck hotties. Well, Sevan has a new favorite athlete. That chick is fucking cool.
Yeah, she's dope.
They have to make weight, Sevi, I guess. Yeah. All right. I'd have kept her on another 15 minutes, but I'm a fucking mess. I have to pee so fucking bad. My eyes are turning yellow. But I'm glad I stayed on long enough for Luis Lemos to give me $50. That was crazy. What a
He's
good
always
dude.
in there. He's a good dude.
Yeah. Oh, the ninja choke was savage. You should go back and watch how that. I'm not digging Donut over Danielle. I'm not. I'm fucking all up in Danielle's shit. Love Danielle, but Donut is cool as shit. Yeah, Abigail's Abigail. As I get to know her better, I really want to explore with her. Just she is a freak of nature. Can't tell if she knows that or not. You think she knows, Caleb?
I don't know. I feel like she's still like trying to find her confidence or something. She doesn't realize the power that
find her confidence. I feel like her confidence is fucking through the fucking roof.
Okay.
All right, fine. Okay, I have to pee. I can't fight with you right now. Love you guys. See you guys tomorrow at 7 a.m. Tomorrow morning is going to be fucking amazing. It's probably the only non-CrossFit show we're doing all week or in 2 weeks or 5 weeks. Okay.